minute game.
And the two of you to your right, please. Two of you to your right. And the two of you to your right. Okay, nice and tight together down the middle, please, everybody. Thank you.
Welcome to a not rainy London now, isn't it?
Look what happened. Look what happened.
Hey, this is a very interesting project for you, I know, because you have your son and your mother on set with
Yeah.
you. In the same way to see them at work, were you happy to see Dad at work? If they get to see Dad at work, were you proud to showcase yourself?
They've seen Dad at work. Like Levi and the kids have been on almost all the sets I've worked on, and we put them to work. They take jobs on the set. Like Levi worked in the camera department for 2 months before he stepped in front of the camera and took the role in this film. So they've seen me work, but we've never worked in a scene together. To see, I worked with Levi on that scene for weeks, and then I told him, I said, look, the day we go to work, he's yours. The character's yours. I'm not going to be there as a safety net. I'm not going to be there as a thumbs up or thumbs down. Go in and own the choices you made. And it was a proud moment as a dad to show up at work that day and him not even looking over his shoulder at me for any approval. Like just him working with Paul and him owning his man. And that was a proud moment for me to see him take that ownership.
There's 2 moments in this film, 2 different characters say, we need to do things not by the book anymore. I feel like that describes Matthew McConaughey as a human as well. You're not going to do things by the book when the time allows for it. Do you think that's
Well,
you?
I'm more, and I don't mean this as a political term, I mean it as a sort of choice-making paradigm. I'm more conservative early, liberal late. I do like to check out the book first. What are the rules of engagement? How's this game supposed to be played? All right, if I'm going to do somersaults naked in this sandbox, let me check it all out and see if there's any broken glass. If I'm going to jump in the pool, let's check and see if there's water in it first. So let's go by the book and check out the rules and regulations, all right, what the consequence could be. After that, you've created your own weather. I've studied the script or have an idea of what I want out of a relationship or whatever that is. Then throw the book away. Now go off book. Now call audibles. Now play. And that's the fun part. The work is the preparation when you study the playbook of whatever it is you're doing. But the play is once you're in the game. You don't want to be thinking about the playbook when you're in the game. So that's probably where I think you're talking about. Maybe you've seen me improvise or do things my own way. It's based off of certain values that I've already studied and prepared for.
It's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy today.
He gives his jerseys with our last name on it. He says, you didn't know. Our man here just has big boots on that.
You give life lessons, and one of them is about the size of the bed.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Oh, it's a bit of a limerick joke. I said, one way to help your marriage out is move down to queen size bed. So it's a bit of a poem, a rhyming little joke about best thing you can do for your marriage is to get rid of that king size mattress and get yourself a queen size bed.
One last question. Does the trailer still exist in Texas?
My trailer? Oh yeah.
You still live in there sometimes?
Well, I have 3 trailers. Yeah.
I believe it's Jamie Burton that actually came across his book first.
Yep.
What an important story, true story to tell in general, but particularly right now, considering it does feel like the whole world is burning. Why did you think it was important to tell the story?
I thought it would be an entertaining story, even if it wasn't based on truth. And then to know that it was based on truth gave me a little more resonance, a little more reverence and purpose for reason to dive in and tell it. The father-son story, the second chances aspect of the story, the idea we've all felt like we're too late or something's too late to handle or help out or amend. And when we get those second chances, how often do we just punt them down the road over and over and over, thinking that they'll always be there, and then that window closes and that opportunity's not there? And the idea that when you do get a second chance, take that opportunity right then. Then the idea of on a human level, you know, we have another gear that we kick into when we're on death's door that we don't give ourselves credit for. And sometimes you got to drive through hell and right down the throat of the dragon to get out of it. It's not a passive kumbaya, sit on the sidelines, let's hope this storm passes. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's like I'm going to go right down the eye of the storm to get through it.
And having your son and mother on set as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you didn't let your son just get the role too
No.
easily, but it must have been magical to be on set with him.
It was, and it'll be more magical as time goes by.
I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah.
We have a
I don't think the entertainment viewers ever care about Crystal Palace football club.
And then you said, you did. I wouldn't
I've been looking at the America timeline over the last 2 years, and I think that probably when you started to film this, it was probably just post Barbie award season stuff.
Yes.
How was it going from that straight into this? Was it an adjustment period? Or?
No, it was really shortly after the Barbie campaign ended. But it was also, you know, really nice to jump into something creatively and you know, shake it up. Getting a movie out in the world is fun, but it's not the same as like getting to do your work and making a movie. So, so it was really fun to get to just jump into another great creative process.
Your character within this has, at one point, you know, in charge of the morale of all these kids who are terrified on a bus. But when it comes to these long days on set, and Paul was telling me about the bus that you're on, it was hot and it was sweaty in there. Were you in charge of morale for all the young actors?
You know, I mean, I thought the kids were amazing. They were super professional. I know that they were definitely like looking to me and to Matthew for cues in terms of like, you know, professionalism and how do you behave on a set. And also, you know, a lot of the scenes were quite intense, and so, you know, just them watching us stay in character and stay in, you know, in quiet and kind of respect that people are working, and, you know, they were fantastic. And I don't think any of them were newbies. These were all kids with like resumes and many credits to their names, so they were pros, which was nice.
How did you find the experience of working with Matthew next to you? Just saw you saddling up to next to you. You look all right, you look happy and friends still?
Yeah, Matthew's great. I mean, I didn't know Matthew at all before we started working together, and I really appreciated how focused and professional and how committed to the work he is, and you know, we really just kind of jumped into the work. It wasn't much of like, you know, Mary and Kevin are strangers when they meet each other in the film and on the journey, and for all they know, they're going to spend 10 minutes together, and it's going to be like, I'll never see you again, you know. So we actually didn't have to do that, like, oh, let's have dinner and hang out and get to know each other before set, because actually it really worked in our favor to get to know each other on camera, actually, and find our way towards more intimacy, the way that Kevin and Mary find themselves more like, okay, we've been through something, you know. And it did certainly feel that way as the weeks went on, that we were going through something together, and that really formed the bond and you know, what you see on screen. And since then we've gotten to spend more kind of offset time together, and it's been a blast, and he's great, and working with Paul was amazing, and it was a really great experience.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
No
you.
worries.
Congratulations on this film.
Thank
I imagine
you.
you must be LA based now as a British man.
No,
over
I live here.
Well, very fascinating.
Definitely.
Then, that this very, you know,
Never would ever leave.
Well, we
the
always
UK.
look across the pond. I'm glad you're going to stay here forever.
Definitely.
We look across the pond and we see these stories of wildfires in LA, and it seems a million miles away to us. But within The Lost Bus, are you hoping to like show that, to make it more relatable through the human element with Matthew and America's characters in this? Is that kind of the goal, to bring this home to UK audiences in a way?
I would say in the last 5 years, these huge, uncontrolled, vast wildfires have sort of entered our consciousness. And I think our consciousness everywhere, because you get them in Europe. I mean, just this summer, unbelievable fire. Biggest fires for 100 years in France, in Italy, in Greece, South America, North America, the Far East. I mean, it's part of our world today. It's burning. And but what you need is a simple human story that you can tell. And this simple story about a bus driver down on his luck and a school teacher who decide they have to save these 22 kids, even though their own children are stuck there somewhere. It's such a story of everyday simple heroism. For me, I just thought it had a sort of, you could see the movie just in the idea of it, really.
I don't know what stage of pre-production or even during production you must have been at when, just recently we had more wildfires in LA as well.
We were literally about.
Did it change anything for you in terms of
It didn't
production?
change anything. I mean, it was about 2 weeks from the end. We were mixing the sound, and suddenly there it was. I mean, a couple of people who worked on the film lost their houses. Billy Goldberg, our editor, he had to go home because he very nearly did lose his home. He didn't quite, but he had to rush home. I mean, it was eerie and disturbing, and a reminder that this happens in a real world. It's not just a make-believe movie.
I just wanted 2 more questions. Can I just ask you to move a little bit this way so we can? It's okay.
You're all right.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right, mate.
Thank you for that.
You're not getting my best side.
When you're telling a story with the real people at the heart of it, at a point you show them the finished product. Have you seen the reaction of the people in the community?
Yeah,
of Kevin and Mary?
It's been fantastic. Yeah, Kevin and Mary have seen it, and the community of Paradise has seen it, and the community of firefighters has seen it, and the reaction has been actually incredibly moving and incredibly supportive. And in the end, that means the world, because you do have a responsibility in these stories to reflect the truth, and you never know when you make these films. You never know, because you're dealing with people's real experiences and their real lives. And but they were incredibly supportive.
And finally, for me as well, at the core of the story is the 2 people on the poster to your right down there, America and Matthew. How do you define them as collaborators? Was it your first time working with Matthew? What was your experience?
First time with both of them. They were absolutely fantastic. They were so generous and giving, and we were a happy band. We were a happy family, actually. And it's not easy. You're shooting in a bus with a lot of small children, and it was just amazing.
What did you find to be the most challenging aspect of this shoot? Because I imagine it's sound stages, it's enclosed environments and everything. What did you find to be challenging during the shoots?
Well, you're in a compressed space, for 10 hours a day. You can't move. It's like this. The seats are very high. It's hot and dusty, and it's difficult. And also, I didn't want to. Often in movies you sort of create a fake bus. I just wanted a real school bus with the restrictions of space that you've got, and just take it from there. But it worked. It worked.
Really
but it wouldn't have worked without America and Matthew being so unbelievably giving and generous in their time, and they didn't ever complain or want to get off the bus. And Matthew drove the bus the whole time.
Oh.
The whole time. And America drove it too.
Love that for them.
She learnt to drive a bus too. It was fantastic.
I've got to let you go. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Great to see you.
Enjoy tonight.